Centralpoint is more than a website, and it's more than a portal that addresses the needs of your organization's enterprise. Centralpoint is a server, and it's a Microsoft-based server that you can install locally, on-premise. You can install it in the cloud or wherever you like. And what's beautiful about Centralpoint is that not only can you manage one website, you can manage multiple websites. So Centralpoint server is typically installed where we have web developer partners that need to create multiple sites. They need to rapidly deploy sites based on their market needs, or we might have a large organization that needs to have separately an intranet from an extranet. So in a large organization, you may have hundreds of public websites under one main portal, and we might have the same type of environment under your private intranet or extranet. So based on security reasons, you still sometimes need to separate church from state, and you really cannot create this central ecosystem for everyone. We believe that that's changing, but for right now, we still need to support that type of an environment. So Centralpoint Master Server, which is the parent of the portal, not only allows you to manage all of the different modules that we provide to you. You're able to go into each module and change the field construct. If you need to create new modules, you can. So what we're saying is that we encourage local development. We want you to create your own modules. We want you to have those live in line with our modules. And the key to that is that everything done at the master level is done within your own file folders. We call it My Modules. So if you were to create a new module, for an example, this new container of content is unique to your organization only. Now, the reason we do that is that we need to update this server remotely, very much like Windows Update. This diagram illustrates how that works. These individual servers, this might be a server at your facility here on the left. This might be a server of another one of our clients. This one over here might be installed in Germany. So these Centralpoint servers, within their own environment, we'll pretend like within your server here, you may have your own development portal, meaning an area where you need to do your own local development, build integrations, custom UIs, whatever you need. And then you have the ability to synchronize those changes down to your quality control portal. So think of that as almost a staging area. Once you've assured that those changes are good and clean, you're able to synchronize those downstream to your own local site. And we'll pretend like this site right here might be your intranet. And of course, there's a home page to your intranet, but there's departmental landing pages for intranets and teams within. So this singular site, in and of itself, is an enterprise capable of servicing your entire intranet. For 80 to 150,000 employees, it's a pretty big deal. So what we're showing you is that we're giving you a platform to not only create new ones and deploy them quickly, but to maintain them moving forward. Think of this as your own web portal factory, so that you can rapidly deploy and then, in a modular construct, control what each organization gets. And we'll show you what we mean. Within one of these sites, for example, underneath of the portal, we're going to take a look at this one right here, and we will see that we have a lot of different features. For example, we might need to rename any of the modules we've created. So let's say we have a module called Staff Directory, and you want to call it Employee Directory, or, so you can alias any of the modules that we provide to you. You can turn on or off these modules. This is a very important point because a lot of clients say, look, you've got more functionality than we need. Not a problem. It's very simple to turn off. And in this example, I'm going to turn off this section known as Atom. I'm going to turn off these items known as blogs. And I'm going to turn off all the commenting. And I want to show you live what's happening here. If I log into the back end of this site, you'll see that the client console is controlled by the parent at a higher order. So I'm going to log in, and you will see that in the back end we have these sections. We have the Atom section, we have the comments section, we have all these different areas. So once I activate this, and I'll submit. So the parent, the master, controls the portals underneath. And the reason this is important is that when it comes to modular development of what you're doing internally, you need that type of control. Why? Because your intranet might need certain things, and you'll notice upon that refreshing, we no longer have Atom, we no longer have comments, we no longer have all this stuff. So we need to build this portal considering the highest common denominator. I mean, we have to look at this from the standpoint that your organization may have evolved to the point where you're taking advantage of everything that the web has to offer. Gamification, forms, integration, global login, all of these things, we have to come to the party ready to provide those, even if your organization's not ready to take advantage of them. So, in essence, we're way ahead of the game, and now it's a question of what do we turn off? What aren't you ready for yet? And that's really what we think a vendor should be doing, is we need to consider all these things, but we don't want to overwhelm you with all this stuff. So we're going to turn it off temporarily. Now, the beauty is that you're not going to pay extra to turn these things on. I mean, they're already there. They already work. That wouldn't be fair. So as you evolve in your digital strategy, we can turn these things on. The other nice thing is what we call evergreen updates. And this means that the servers that are out there today, again, back to our diagram, these servers can pull down, very much like a Windows update. Even though it's hosted locally behind the firewall, this server can pull down new features that we make available. So we update Centralpoint on a bi-weekly basis, which means that this gallery of tools that you see here have been evolving over, now going on 16 years. As we define new features, as we define new items, we develop those. We develop them in a very generic, kind of homogenized way, so that any one of our vertical clients, because we are horizontal technology, we have to develop certain things so they're agnostic, and they can very easily be retrofitted for healthcare or for publishing or whatever. So we've defined the kind of the best of the web must-haves, and these are the different categories of those things here. Things like blogs or email broadcasting or single sign-on or advertising tools. And again, not everyone's going to use all of them. Fine. We turn them on, we turn them off. So, number one, this is a huge benefit because if you think about it, every other vendor out there today, when they install software at your facility, it already becomes obsolete, within a year or two, and they come back and have to sell you or resell you their new version of the, 2010 or 2012 version of their software. We don't have to do that. Once you install this is the last enterprise content management system you'll need to install, because every 2 weeks it's checking for those new items, and those things are changing all the time. For example, we have a timeline that dates back 15 years that shows every single update since 2000 all the way to present. And our most current version is 8.5.1, and within each one of those updates we are also sharing with clients what we're doing. Now, just to help you understand what these updates are like and kind of what it would include, in our most recent update, we have released new features here. We created a new module to manage source code samples and demonstrations that we call code samples. We've released a new feature to site architecture navigation so that we can support certain things in the header tags. So all of these issues that we receive here at Oxcyon, we call that our voice of customer, and we think it's pretty intelligent because as people bring up points or hey, you forgot about this or what about this feature, we then develop those and release those in our next sync, and that allows us to respond not just to that client but to all clients, and it allows that, of course, that rising tide to lift all ships, so to speak. It also gives us a competitive edge in the industry because the minute we hear about a new thing, like we recently did with gamification, we developed a suite around it, and everyone had it in the next 2 weeks sync. They didn't have to pay extra for that. They shouldn't have to. The other thing is internally, if you think about it, this becomes rather interesting because you're able to now define what you want your, we'll call it your master DI portal or website to look like. And then you can very easily deploy new sites. You can stamp out new. So this will manage all of the IIS setup, all of the database segmentation, everything. So we have a wizard that allows you to now deploy brand new portals around the definition that you've set. Now, when we deliver the server, it's going to come complete with a quality control portal, which means that all of the features, feature-rich qualities of Centralpoint, you know, the responsive design and all of the different modules and all of these different things that come with Centralpoint will be built in. So this means that you will be empowered to immediately begin stamping out and deploying as many portals as you might like, and which might be very valuable for a web development firm or a creative agency. And then each one can, of course, be tailored to meet the needs of that specific client. But it allows you to now centralize your own internal development, because as you create that new module or that new feature or that new integration touch point, it now becomes a modular element for all sites. So, for example, if you were to develop a new feature in development, synchronize it, test it, make sure it's good, and then synchronize it down to all of your client sites out there, when it goes down the stream, you know, it's going to update every client. It's going to give everyone this new feature, but that feature is going to be set with the default setting of off. So what you're building is a kind of a rapid agile gallery where you can now say for site number 4 or portal number 5, let's turn on those features because they need them at this point. And you'll find that each one of your initiatives is evolving at a different rate of time and a different pace. The public-facing internet might be evolving faster than the intranet, or vice versa. So you need a modular way to deal with all of this, and you need a way to inherit these new tools without trying to be the web developer yourself. And again, if you think about us as a professional service, you know, our expertise is in this technology, the changes to this technology over time, and what that means for everything downstream. Well, why would any organization try and keep up with that? You know, no different than why would you try and manage your own legal affairs or accounting affairs? You'd likely hire an accountant or an attorney to do that. We see it the same way. Let us worry about the trends around technology. If you want to take a look at our history, you know, our version history, and what we've done over the past 15 years, I think you will concur that we've got a really good pulse on what's needed in the market and how to respond to that. Here's another real-life example of that. So many tools we've developed over the years, and I will use this one as my example. We created a tool 6-7 years ago called data transfer, and this was to respond to everyone's need to bring in content and move content from one database to another, oftentimes to migrate you or to pull in content from some other place. So this tool, data transfer, on its initial release, offered the ability to point to certain types of data, initially Excel or Access or SQL, so that you could reach out to that data type and pull in all of the data and map it to one of your modules. So literally it was a data import routine. And just to exercise that routine very quickly, I'll do that and say, let's import that right now. And let's make sure it's mapped. Okay. Generic G. Okay. So that import has actually taken place. Now, no sooner did we release that tool, but user said, I would like a feature to schedule that. You know, we'd like to run that every day at noon or every 10 minutes. So that became a new update in one of the update packages. Then another client said, hey, when it's done running on that automatic basis, could you send me an email? Let me know what happened, because I set mine up at 1 in the morning. I'd like to be notified. So we introduced that. We didn't bill the clients for that either. We thought it was a really good idea. Next, over the years, people have said, well, can we have that work with ODBC or OLEDB or Oracle? Or could we have Centralpoint work with a file system so that I might have 30, 40,000, files sitting somewhere. And every day I want to check to see if people have dropped in new files, and if so, pick it up and move it into Centralpoint. Yes, so we built that. I wanted a feature, one of the clients wanted a feature so they could move data between Oracle and IBM. Remember, having nothing to do with our product. Could your tool do that? Well, I suppose it could. So we, implemented that functionality. Now, we're not going to agree to everything that people come up with. We have had some, voice of customer doesn't mean the customer is all customers are always right, but oftentimes it means that if we hear the same type of thing from multiple clients, definitely it's a market demand and we should respond to it. Another client said, I'd like tools so I can visually map the fields that I'm pulling in. So I can cherry pick the different fields and map which fields come in. So that's just one module story, and every one of these modules has that story. Whether it be the rules over email broadcasting, which have changed radically over the years based on canned spam rules and how the browsers perceive emails, all of the things that go with that. We've had to update the product and we've had to release new features. But this is what keeps our clients relevant. We have some clients who have been with us 12, 13 years, have never had to reinvest in a new technology because our technology is always updating. As a matter of fact, we typically update the product faster than you can keep up with. That's a positive, by the way. So when it does come time for you to activate something, you're like, impressed that it's already there. Not every time, but most times. And that's what this evergreen thing's all about. It's about eliminating obsolescence. It's about putting you in charge of your own local development without us, interrupting what you're doing. We can still update your technology locally, yet support that local development. And that's quite a feat to pull off. But I think if you talk to our clients who've been doing this for many years, you'll feel very comfortable that, yes, this is possible. The vendor can support their product, even though you're hyper-customizing it locally. And there is that symbiosis. And the key to it is that anything, from your server downstream that is created must be segregated from our updates, which means that all of your local development is within my modules, strictly. And that's a good thing. You can do anything you want to within my modules. We just need to containerize where your stuff is so that we know in a sync not to affect any of your work, and we never have in 16 years or 15 and a half years, which we're very proud to say. So that is the master server. Typically, this is what we call a master enterprise license. And again, just to recap, the master enterprise license is normally utilized, and of course, there's training and there's documentation. There's everything that you would want within this. A lot of powerful functionalities. As a matter of fact, one key point here is that a lot of the website routines that you have to run, database backups, periodic data transfers, move files, whatever it is, all of the tasks that you need to keep your site up and running, disaster recovery backups, mirroring, whatever you need, we can now set these up in scheduled tasks so these things can run automatically. So there's a lot of utilities here besides just stamping out portals and maintaining them. Keeping them healthy, keeping them up to date, and automating that whole process, basically making your life easy so that you don't have to become this full-time web development shop within your organization. So we invite you to contact us for more information so we can give you a one-on-one. Typically, if you're looking at this product, you'll likely want to talk to our developers. So be sure to ask for a developer to be present in that meeting so you can ask the tough questions you need to and get the right answers. And again, master enterprise, normally for a larger client, government clients, Fortune 500s, but even those that are in the multi-site management business, web development, creative agencies, literally anyone. And also if you're on-premise. If you're on-premise, you'll definitely need to know this. This can run on a Microsoft platform, various different types, 2008, 2005, SQL, 2008, 2012, whatever your configuration is, we can install this, and this can be installed same day. So we invite you to contact us. Thank you.